1 billion years from now, you could see a world full of artificial intelligence, intergalactic travel, and space colonies. Perhaps we'll see an end to poverty and hunger. A society in which we are all genuinely equal. Well, these are all fantastic situations that might happen one day. But let us step back from our typical human-centric perspective to the future. Instead, let us remain firmly planted on Earth. Well, kind of grounded. Let's go in our time machine and see how Earth will change over the next billion years. The Earth is already 4.5 billion years old, and as you're presumably aware, a lot has transpired in that time. Dinosaurs controlled the Earth only 250 million years ago. Do you think they will make a huge comeback in the future? Let us find out. 100 years, you'd be astonished to see how much has changed in only a century. Perhaps you shouldn't be too surprised, considering the impacts of global warming are already apparent. The severity of climate change over the next century will be determined by the efforts mankind takes to mitigate its impacts. However, you should predict that global temperatures will rise. The most significant impact will be on sea levels, which are already rising. You will witness them rise higher and higher, endangering many of the world's coastal towns. Bangkok, Miami, Venice, and many other places across the world could be extensively submerged by 2124. This would require humanity to rebuild the world map, but more devastatingly, rising sea levels would displace hundreds of millions of people around the planet. This would result in instability, including political upheavals and societal transformations. Many animal species would be forced to relocate or go extinct. Major ecological transformations taking place on Earth have the potential to permanently transform entire ecosystems. Beyond the melting polar ice caps, increased temperatures and variations in rainfall would transform rainforests into something we cannot identify. Heat-tolerant plants, insects, and tiny mammals would most likely survive, but we would lose many iconic species. Say goodbye to orangutans and jaguars. When we combine all of these calamities with an increase in the incidence of hurricanes, we see a totally different planet. 1,000 years, let's skip ahead a millennium. The Earth would still be becoming hotter, and the effects of global warming would be substantially more severe. However, various additional forces would emerge to transform our globe. Literally. At this time in the future, numerous big volcanoes may awaken from their long slumber. Let's look at Yellowstone National Park's supervolcano. Yellowstone National Park is a volcano. When this monster blows, it has the potential to cause an eruption comparable to that of a volcano. And it would not be limited to the nearby area or the western part of North America. No, this will have a global influence. Massive amounts of gas and ash will be released into the atmosphere, hiding the sun in the sky. The Earth will effectively experience a volcanic winter. This will have a terrible impact on the life of various species around the globe. Entire animal and human populations will become extinct. It will also have a significant impact on the world's agricultural systems. Plants would be deprived of light and blanketed in volcanic ash, driving the majority of them to die. However, this may not be altogether negative. A volcanic winter like this could assist to chill the Earth. 10,000 years, welcome to an entirely new period in Earth's geological history. Our landscapes and coasts may be transformed 10,000 years from now, with new mountain ranges and enormous inland seas. This would be due to the eruption of larger supervolcanoes, mega-earthquakes, and the overall movement of our planet's tectonic plates. It nearly appears as if Earth is gradually shaping itself into a new form. Geographically, we may see as much change as when Earth evolved into Pangaea. Even without considering where humans fit into this evolving world, much of the evidence of our presence would be buried behind layers of rock and ice. If you or extraterrestrial archaeologists dug deeper, you'd discover a clear record of our human impact on Earth inscribed in the geological record. 100,000 years, jumping even further into the future, we'd only be a decimal point away from 1 billion years. However, at this time, Earth would have experienced at least one new ice age. Perhaps even a few. These cycles of global freezing and thawing would continue to change the landscapes we knew so well. There would be new rivers and seas. New emerging ecosystems inhabited by new plant and animal species that have successfully adapted to all of the changes that have occurred over the last 100,000 years. Who knows what new species will be at the top of the food chain? Even Earth's orbit may alter. This would not necessarily be a dramatic change, but the gravitational pull of other astronomical bodies such as Jupiter might bring us significantly further away from the Sun than we are now. This would affect our day and night cycles, as well as the temperature on Earth. 1 million years, okay. By this point, the large blue marble we previously called home would be practically unrecognizable. For starters, the continents would no longer be where you assumed they were. Hey, maybe Canada will finally get more than 2 months of summer. And what was once the continent of Africa may today be covered in snow. Within these new continents, new ecosystems would arise, paving the path for new life forms. Some of these may even be intelligent. There is no way of knowing exactly what these new dominant species will look like. However, whatever they are, they will most likely be ideally suited to the surroundings. If the Earth became a rocky ball of gigantic magma, they would have developed to resist it. If it were an aquatic world, they'd have gills for breathing underwater. Humanity, at this stage, might be compared to dinosaurs. An interesting creature that once ruled the planet but eventually became extinct. Finally, you arrive at your destination, even if it wasn't far from where you started. Except for the 1 billion years of history that you have witnessed. You wouldn't recognize Earth a billion years from now. By now, the sun would be roughly 10% brighter than you remember, causing global temperatures to skyrocket. Without the oceans, Earth would be a wholly barren, desert-like world. Any sign of life would have to be strong enough to survive deep beneath. Hopefully, humans or other intelligent species have departed Earth and begun colonizing other celestial bodies. Which is something to think about. If Earth becomes uninhabitable, where should we go? What planets might be more suitable for life than this one?